Fines and fees that the government as well as the school district owe me. I think would it be accounts receivable, right? It's a, or no, notes receivable. I think contract. Trying to decide whether it be accounts receivable or notes receivable. I should record them in for the actual accounting file that I have set up for everything. Just keep track of everything. We're gonna pay up for fucking up. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and read some of. Got a new Bible here, so we can get through that. So my goal is to read this whole entire thing front to back because gone to church so much, learned about stories of the Bible, seen movies, shows, heard all kinds of stories, but I want to actually like firsthand be able to kind of understand what people are talking about here. And I know this isn't like the King James version. I can't do the art thous and the holy thy them or whatever. I like the weird mumbo jumbo talk. Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. It feels like I'm reading Shakespeare, and I've never read Shakespeare either because I'm like that doesn't feel legible to me. That doesn't make any sense. So reading a modernized version of it, something that is a little bit easier to understand. So I'm gonna go ahead and start at the beginning. Okay, so I have one section here. Oh, double as a bookmark. I'm gonna go ahead and learn about the Word of God. As I remember, so I read this part already, but figured just to start from the beginning for the video for everybody to read along to, might be good to kind of get through some of this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do the Managerial Accounting and Interpersonal Communications. I'm just going to read like say maybe a section at a time, just a small little section, maybe like a couple verses or something like that, just to kind of because I'm trying to chip away at it myself, and so basically get through it. So I'll kind of chip away a little bit at a time, and then chip away at all the other things, school assignments and work. So plenty to do. So for the preface, also let's see, so you know which one I'm reading. So in case you want to read along, I have the New American Bible, the revised edition. So they fixed some errors by revising it. Cool. The St. Joseph edition. Okay. All right. Preface. The increasing interest in love. Hold on. The increasing interest in and love for the sacred scriptures can be attributed to the biblical movement, inaugurated and encouraged by our great modern pontiffs, and given even stronger impetus by the Second Vatican Council. Reminded by them of our duty and privilege as members of people of God to disseminate the inspired word of God, we have spared no effort to produce this improved new edition in the Old and New Testaments. Sorry, okay, so just to start off, I'm gonna try my absolute best to have respect for this text, because I understand that there's other cultures, other people that really, really are 100% wholeheartedly dedicated to their religion and to the text and like really, really believe this stuff. And the reason they believe that is because it's helped them get through life and it gives them hope and faith and they feel like it makes them feel better and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of reasons why people like this stuff right here is disseminated throughout the world, and reason people haven't just thrown it in the trash is because people genuinely do believe in it. And so I will promise to do my absolute best to have respect for what's written, and but at the same time, I will try to, have a little bit of my input and put my opinions and my interpretations of what's going on here as well. So I'm just going to be reading the Bible and trying to interpret it as I go. And so whatever I take from it, I'm going to try to share while also trying to maintain a level of ethics and respect for other people out there who really hold this near and dear to their hearts. I'll do my best to respect that. You have my word. And now into the word of God, the word of the Lord, the word of God. Okay. To disseminate inspired word of God, okay. Where was I? Reminded them of our duty and privilege as members of the people of God to disseminate the inspired word of God. We have spared no effort to produce this improved new edition of the Old and New Testaments. As a sure means of deepening our knowledge of truth, we have incorporated in this edition the very latest complete Catholic translation known as the New American Bible, and produced by members of the Catholic Bible Association of America under the patronage of the Confraternity of Christian Doctrine Incorporated. Ugh, America. Sorry, we're trying to be respectful. Yeah, that's an issue we need to deal with. But anyway, we confidently hope that many distinctive features found only in our edition of this fine modern translation will add greatly to the enjoyment, understanding, and appreciation of the sacred writings. Among these features, we might mention the dogmatic constitution on divine revelation of Vatican II, Vatican II, a helpful section on learning about the Bible and the origins of the sacred writings, a valuable panoramic view of the lands, peoples, and major events of the Bible, a very handy Bible dictionary, a listing of new mass readings for Sundays, and an easy-to-read, sight-saving typeface. Most important of all, we have included a series of over 35 self-explaining maps showing key events and areas in the Bible, each placed directly near the texts which it concerns. In this way, the reader is kept abreast of the history of salvation without needless turning of pages to some other part of the book. Another series of over 70 photographs of important archaeological finds offers much light on the Bible and provides impartial confirmation of the events present therein. Finally, the invaluable cross-references and notes at the bottom of each page are all clearly referred to in the text so that as the readers move along, they are constantly kept aware of the wealth of information provided by the latest biblical scholarship. May God see fit to make this new edition an instrument for his greater glory and the salvation of souls. This is by the Catholic Book Publishing Corporation. All right. Stop there, go over to Managerial Accounting. Personal communications, what do we want to do right now? Let's say switch it up. So this is going to expire. Okay, I need to check in on this every once in a while so it doesn't kick me out of the assignment. I can just jump right to it, but worst case scenario, I just have to refresh the page and log back in. All right. We're talking about interpersonal communication and mindfulness, so mindful communication. As you can see, these perspectives on mindful communication align nicely with the discussion we had in the previous section related to mindfulness. However, there is not a single approach to what is mindful communication. Each of these definitions can help us create an idea of what mindful communication is. For our purposes, within this text, we plan on taking a broad view of mindful communication that encompasses both perspectives of secular mindfulness and non-secular mindfulness, primarily stemming from the Buddhist tradition. As such, we define mindful communication as the process of interacting with others while engaging in mindful awareness and practice. Although more general than the definitions presented above, we believe that aligning our definition with mindful awareness and practice is beneficial because of Shapiro and Carlson's existing mindfulness framework. However, we do not want to raise one note about the possibility of mindful communication correspondence. We do want to raise one note about the possibility of mindful communication competence. From the communication perspective, it's entirely possible to be mindful and not effective in one's communication. Burgoon, Berger, and Waldron wrote, without the requisite communication skills to monitor their actions and adapt their messages, without the breadth of repertoire and that enables flexible, novel thought processes to translate into creative action, a more mindful state may not lead to more successful communication. As such, there has to be a marriage between mindfulness and communication skills. This book aims to provide a perspective that enhances both mindfulness and interpersonal communication skills. Key takeaways. Mindfulness has many definitions, but it involves being intentionally present in the moment with openness and non-judgment. It can be understood through both Eastern spiritual traditions and Western scientific approaches. Mindful awareness refers to being consciously present with your thoughts, emotions, and surroundings, while mindful practice involves developing skills like focused attention, clarity of purpose, and an open, accepting mindset. Shapiro and Coalescence's mindfulness model includes three components: attention, intention, and attitude. Attention is focusing on present experiences. Intention is understanding the purpose behind actions, and attitude is approaching each moment with curiosity and compassion rather than judgment. The five facets of mindfulness are observing internal and external experiences, describing those experiences using words, acting with awareness instead of autopilot, non-judging one's inner experience, and non-reactivity to thoughts and emotions. Mindful communication involves applying mindfulness to interactions with others. Being mindfully present, open, and intentional in conversations helps foster better interpersonal relationships and contributes to effective communication. Key terms: acting with awareness, attention, attitude, cognitive complexity, communication, communication competence, connotative definitions, denotative definitions, describing, effective communication, group, intrapersonal communication, intention, interpersonal communication, mediated communication, mindful awareness, mindful communication, mindful practice, non-judging of inner experience, non-reactivity to inner experience, observing, public communication, self-monitoring, and symbol. Chapter wrap up. Finally 4 days later. Oh, I need to read faster, man. Really need to read faster. There's so much information we need to soak in. We need to be able to have a well-rounded experience and mentality, so that way for the fight ahead, you got to be able to do it the right way. This whole David versus Goliath thing. You can't just use brute force. You got to be smart about it. So soak up as much information as we can. All right, chapter wrap up. In this chapter, we explored why it's important to study human communication, the basic principles of human communication, nature of communication competence, the types of human communication, and mindful communication. We hope this chapter makes you interested in staying with us throughout the rest of the book as we explore interpersonal communication. It absolutely did not. I'm only doing this because of the rest of the class. If I was just reading this on my own, I'd be like, fuck that. Yeah, this book's just boring and there's so many typos. All right, chapter exercises. Maybe it picks up later. It's kind of like a show. Sometimes it starts off real slow, just trying to set it up, and then it gets into the juicy bits later. Chapter exercises, real world case study. Noam is a freshman, or Noam. Noam is a freshman in college and doesn't understand why he needs to take a communications studies course. He doesn't see the importance or application of this course. Apparently that was never communicated to him. Lols. He wants to be an engineer. Oh, good job. Nice. You're gonna have to communicate those ideas though. His math and engineering classes are more exciting than a communications course. He has been talking his whole life and is very popular. Can you convince him why communication is important for Noam? Sure, but I could. Next. Okay. Chapter 1. Sweet. Chapter 2. Let's do 13 minutes, almost 14 minutes. We're not doing too bad on time. So you can keep on powering through. We'll read a little bit more of this. We got chapter 2, overview of interpersonal communication. So a couple dudes in this picture talking interpersonally. Men talking in the cold. As a picture. Okay. Cardi and Tilly have been friends since they were both in kindergarten. They're both applying to the same college, hoping to be roommates. However, Cardi gets accepted, but Tilly does not. Damn. Cardi is crushed because she wanted to share her college experience with her best friend. Tilly tells Cardi to go without her, and she will try again next year after attending the local junior college for a semester. Cardi B is no longer as excited to go to college because she's worried about Tilly. Cardi discusses different options with her parents and other friends and posts about it on social media. This idea of sharing our experiences, whether positive or negative, is a form of interpersonal communication. When we share information with others and they share information with us, it is defined as interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communication can be informal, such as in the checkout line, or formal, such as in a lecture classroom. Often, interpersonal communication occurs in face-to-face contexts. It is usually unplanned, spontaneous, and ungrammatical. Consider the conversations you have with your friends and family. These are mainly interpersonal in nature. It is essential to learn about interpersonal communication because this is the type of communication that you will be doing for most of your life. At most colleges, public speaking is a required course. Yet, most people will not engage in making a public speech for most of their lives, but they will communicate with one other person daily, which is interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communication can help us achieve our personal and professional goals. In this chapter, you will learn the concepts associated with interpersonal communication and how certain variables can help you achieve your goals. In this chapter, you will learn about ways to make communication more effective. You will learn about communication models that might influence how a message is sent and or received. You will also learn about characteristics that influence the message and can cause others not to accept or understand the message that you're trying to send. Purposes of interpersonal communication. Learning objectives. 1. Explain Maslow's hierarchy of needs and its connection to communication behaviors. 2. Describe how communication facilitates individuals in meeting their personal and relational needs. Discuss how interpersonal communication contributes to the development of self-concept and self-esteem. Explain the role of communication in building and maintaining relationships. Define uncertainty reduction theory and describe the 3 stages people use to reduce certainty. Oh, it went away. Hold on. It's supposed to be big. Okay. Interpersonal communication serves fundamental purposes that are essential to human survival and flourishing. At its core, communication enables us to meet our basic physical, emotional, and social needs, from securing resources for survival to building the relationships that give life meaning and purpose. Through our interactions with others, we not only satisfy these practical needs, but also develop our sense of self and learn about the world. Communication allows us to form, build, and maintain the relationships that provide support, companionship, and personal growth throughout our lives. Whether we are seeking to reduce uncertainty about new people we meet, sharing our dreams and aspirations, or simply connecting with others for emotional well-being, interpersonal communication is the vehicle through which we navigate our social world and fulfill our deepest human needs. Meeting personal needs. Communication fulfills our physical, personal, and social needs. Research has shown a powerful link between happiness and communication. In this study, which included over 200 college students, the researchers found that those who reported the highest levels of happiness also had very active social lives. They found no differences between the happiest people and their peers in terms of how much they exercised, took part in religious activities, or engaged in other activities. Wow, lucky for you. Some people have different experiences with life, man. From my experience, the more people you involve in life, the worse it is, because the more people are just gonna inconvenience you or just ruin shit, man. Like, there's more unpredictable factors that are gonna come back and fuck a bunch of shit up. So I prefer solitude. Like, the more people around, the more bad shit's gonna happen. So the less people around, the less problems I have to deal with usually. And so, like, I can help people just from a distance. I prefer to keep my distance, and I'm willing to help you. Just don't come too close, because, like, yeah, from my experience, having more people in life does not make life better. It in fact makes life significantly worse. Yeah. So they come with all this baggage and all these problems and all these emotions, and they take out their anger on you, and they try to, I don't know, like, judge you, or they try to inconvenience you, or they try to take out their emotions on you, or they try to bring their problems and make their problems your problems. And yeah, no, I can recognize your problems from a distance. Don't involve me personally. I'll take care of it. Like, fucking government over here made a mistake, and I don't think it wasn't intentional. I don't think they didn't intentionally involve me, and they didn't intentionally make it personal. But the fact that they're fucking up and abusing their authority, and it just so happened to affect me, maybe this is God's way of saying, hey man, like, I'm gonna need you to help take care of this shit. And so I hear you, Lord. I'm gonna take care of this fucked up world and I'll prepare it for you to come, all that stuff. We got to make heaven on earth. Heaven isn't a place we go. This is something we have to create here on earth. And from what I've read in the Bible, the earth is not yet ready. The earth is preparing the world. We're preparing earth for the second coming. And he's not coming because we're far from ready. We're not even fucking close. I wouldn't expect him coming until we start significantly improving. And that's if you're religious, if you believe in God. That's if you think about it that way. Let's just say the earth is nowhere near ready and it has to be significantly overhauled and changed and rectified and reformed in order for God to even want to come close to us. He's not going to touch us with a light year long pole. Light years distance, right? Yeah, space time, same shit. All right, anyway, meeting personal needs. Where did I leave off? Meeting personal needs. Communication fulfills our physical, personal, and social needs. Oh yeah, I was talking about people, adding more people in life, being synonymous with happiness. Yeah, no, not the case. Definitely not the case. Not for everybody, man. I guess for people that are extroverts, for people that like being social, I guess they might rule it as being happier. But me personally, I'm much happier when people just kind of like I can have maybe one or two or a few people around. I can deal with that. Otherwise, I just get annoyed, and I just feel like there's gonna be threats or just random shit I'm gonna have to deal with, or unpredictable factors, and I don't like it. Too many people around. I can deal with a lot of people. Just I don't want to be talking to you directly. Just I'll create. I'll engineer stuff. I'll fix things over here, reform things and edit it, and I'll get your feedback. I'll definitely be communicating with you, but I'm just gonna not want you right in my face. I'm gonna maybe prefer email or calling or something like that. Just keep you away from me physically, and I'm fine. I hate to use this analogy, but it's kind of like cockroaches. Do I like them? No. Do I mind them existing or being around? I'm I don't care as long as you stay over there. But as soon as you're in my house, it's ugh, gross. Unless it's there's, again, I'm not saying this blanket statement for everybody. There are people out there that are cool and that are people I like. It's just the ones I'm really singling out are the ones who try to have authority over other people or try to impose their will upon other people, especially law enforcement and the judicial system. You guys are the ones that really have what do you call it? Tooth to pick something to pick. I don't know. But yeah, government's my main inconvenience and annoyance. They're the ones that need to fix, and it's other people are suffering too. So it's not only for me; it's for literally everybody else. Like I said, I was just dragged into this, probably as a wake up call to be of service to other people and help other people and fix this shit for them. And then what else? Yeah, just I don't know. Other people just trying to have control over other people or just trying to impose their will and stuff like that. I'm they're just y'all need to back the fuck up. Worry about yourself, all right? Don't worry about other fucking people. Just go away. Should be a free fucking country. Just leave me the fuck alone. But now everybody's got to have their fingers and everything and be all fucking nosy and shit. I'm all about transparency. That's fine. I don't care about that. Just don't get directly involved, physically. I'll let you know shit that's going on. Say, for example, even the videos is a pretty good example. You're aware of stuff going on. I'm not trying to hide shit. But at the same time, I just don't want to have people randomly around all the time bugging me about random shit. I got plenty of stuff I need to worry about, and it's not I don't care. It's just I'm way too fucking busy. I got the Coalescence, I have the Conglomerate, I have school. That helps. Yeah, I'm always going to be taking classes, and you're always learning. Learning is always a process. It's a lifelong thing. So don't ever plan on stopping learning. So yeah, I don't care what job, I don't care what I'm doing. I'm still going to be at least taking one or two classes to keep up to date on things and just always feel like I'm improving, learning something and using that knowledge to apply it to the world and to be able to help people. And so, like I said, I love helping people just from a distance. As long as you're not right in my face, then I want to just, just go away. I remember there's one part in the Bible that it says like, oh yeah, like I forget where it is. It's something about like people going from somewhere and like God saying that it was almost like God saying he was like so disgusted by them, or like so they were so repugnant that like if they were to come any closer, he was gonna just slaughter them. Like he was like he didn't like he was willing, I guess, to I forget where it is, somewhere in the beginning of the Bible. I don't know if it was Exodus or Genesis or whatever the hell, but like it was basically people walking. And I remember I thought it was hilarious because it was like, yeah, God was like, here, I'm gonna guide you, whatever, but don't come close to me because like you guys are disgusting. And he would wipe you off the face of the earth if you came too closer. Some shit. I don't know. Maybe I was interpreting that some way, but it gave me a good laugh and I thought it was hilarious. But I feel like that's kind of like how I am. I'm like, I'm willing to help you. I'll guide you. I'll do everything. Just keep your distance. Stay like keep your social distance. Stay the hell over there. I'm willing to help you from over here. Just go away and stay. Like we'll be communicating, just I'll be helping, just keep your distance. All right, where were we? Study. The study results noted that having a social life can help people connect with others. We can connect with others through effective communication. Overall, effective communication is essential to our emotional well-being and our perceptions of life. All right, everyone has dreams they want to achieve. What would happen if you told no one about your dreams? Would it be really possible to achieve your dreams without communication? To make your dreams a reality. Yeah, it's weird. My only dream was to like be with like the perfect woman. Other than that, everything was just kind of fall into place. I'm like, as long as I got her, I'm willing to do whatever. I don't care. I could literally be living in hell. As long as I got my girl, I don't mind it. Hell's lit. What do we blah blah blah? To make your dreams a reality, we will interact with several people along the way who will help you fulfill your dreams and personal needs. The most famous people in history, who were actors, musicians, politicians, and business leaders, all started with a vision and could articulate those ideas to someone else who could help them launch their careers. There are practical needs for communication. In every profession, excellent communication skills are a necessity. Doctors, nurses, and other health professionals need to listen to their patients to understand their concerns and medical issues. In turn, these health professionals must be able to communicate the appropriate type of treatment and procedures so that their parents feel confident in the best possible outcome, and they will comply with these medical orders. Research has shown that couples who engage in effective communication report more happiness than couples who do not. Communication is not an easy skill for everyone. As you read further, you will see that numerous considerations and variables can affect how a message is relayed and received. Okay, we got psychological needs at the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. These include breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, homeostasis, and excretion. Safety, we have security of body, employment, resources, morality, the family, health, and prosperity. For love and belonging, we have friendship, family, and sexual intimacy. Esteem, self-esteem, confidence, achievement, respect of others, and respect by others. And self-actualization, morality, creativity, spontaneity, problem solving, lack of prejudice, and acceptance of facts. Yeah, America's barely got this physiological needs covered. Safety needs, no. Love belonging, no. Esteem, no. Self-actualization, no. Yeah, our government ain't doing shit. Like you're barely scraping by on this physiological needs. All right, as the arrow in figure 2.1 shows, again, that's where I say I come in. I'll get to it. We'll save the world. Eventually. It's a process, man. We're going as fast as we can, doing it the right way. Like doing it the right way is a slower process. Yeah, you could go about it the wrong way and take action and do a bunch of violent shit, and that's not the right way to go about it, though. So we're patient. We'll change it from the inside out. As the arrow in figure 2.1 shows, Maslow believed human needs emerge in order, starting from the bottom of the pyramid. At a basic level, humans must have their physiological needs met, including breathing, food, water, sex, homeostasis, sleep, and excretion. Once the physiological needs have been met, humans can attempt to meet safety needs, which include the safety of the body, family, resources, morality, health, and employment. A higher order need that must be met is love and belonging, which encompasses friendship, sexual intimacy, and family. Another higher order need that must be met before self-actualization is esteem, which encompasses self-esteem, confidence, achievement, respect from others, and the respect others have for us. Maslow argued that all of the lower needs were necessary to help us achieve psychological health and eventually self-actualization. Self-actualization leads to creativity, morality, spontaneity, problem solving, lack of prejudice, and acceptance effects. Did you or someone you know benefit from free or reduced breakfast and lunch programs at schools? Have you ever donated to backpack programs collecting non-perishable snacks for children to take home to have food for the evening or the weekend? One of the author's universities is hosting a pudding cup drive to support local children with the goal of collecting 450 pudding cups by the end of the semester. The donations are to provide weekend meals for local students in need through the national program called Blessings in a Backpack. Cool name. Consider the reasons we feed children. Children who are hungry cannot learn, and no child should face food insecurity in their home. Agreed. Communicating and meeting personal needs. As you will learn from this chapter, it is essential to understand people and recognize that they often communicate to satisfy their needs, but each person's need is a unique level, or each person's need level is unique. To survive, physiological and safety needs must be met. Through communication, humans can work together to grow food, produce food, build shelter, create safe environments, and engage in protective behaviors. Once physiological and safety needs have been met, communication can then shift to the needs of love and belonging. Instead of focusing on living to see the next day, humans can focus on building relationships by discussing perhaps the value of a friendship or the desire for sexual intimacy. After creating a sense of love and belonging, humans can move forward to working on esteem. Communication may involve sharing praise, working toward goals, and discussing strengths, which may lead to positive self-esteem. When esteem has been addressed and met, humans can achieve self-actualization. Communication will be about making life better, sharing innovative ideas, contributions to society, compassion and understanding, and providing insight to others. Imagine trying to communicate creatively about a novel or express compassion for others while starving and feeling unprotected. The problem of starvation must be resolved before communication can shift to areas addressed within self-actualization. Critics of Maslow's theory argue that the hierarchy may not be absolute, as it is possible to achieve self-actualization without meeting the lower needs. For example, a parent or guardian might put the needs of the child first if food is scarce. Here, the need for food has not been fully met, and yet the parent or guardian can engage in self-actualized behavior. Other critics point out that Maslow's hierarchy is rather Western-centric and focused on more individualistic cultures. The focus is on the individual needs and desires and not applicable to cultures that are collectivistic, where the focus is on the family, group, or culture's needs and desires. It is essential to understand others' needs because they may differ from our own. This can influence how a message is received. For instance, Sean and Dee have been dating for some time. Dee wants to talk about wedding plans and the possibility of having children. However, Sean is struggling to make ends meet. He is focused on his paycheck and where he will get money to cover his rent and what his next meal will be because of his tight income. It is very hard for Sean to talk about their future together and future plans when he is so focused on his basic physiological needs for food and water. Dee is on a different level in terms of love and belonging because she doesn't have to worry about finances. Sean's paying for everything. Oh God. Communication can be difficult when two people have very different needs that are not being met. This can frustrate both Dee and Sean. Dee feels like Sean doesn't love her because he refuses to talk about their future together, and Sean is upset with Dee because she doesn't seem to understand how difficult it is for him to manage such a tight budget. Yeah, wake up, Dee. If we are not able to understand the other person's needs, then we won't be able to have meaningful conversations. Learning about self and others. Communication is powerful, and sometimes words can affect us in ways we might not have imagined. Think back to a time when someone said something hurtful or insightful to you. How did it make you feel? Did you feel empowered to prove that person wrong or right? Even in a classroom, peers can say things that might make you reconsider how you feel about yourself. Classmates offer a great deal of feedback to one another. They may comment on how well one particular student does, and this contributes to the student's self-concept. The student might think, people think I'm a good student, so I must be. When we interact with others, how they perceive and relate to us affects our overall self-concept. According to Renee M. Daly, adolescents' self-concepts are impacted by daily conversations that include both acceptance and challenges. I think when I was a kid, I was mostly on my own. I remember my one of my football coaches coming up to me and was like, "Why do you isolate yourself?" Like it was like two different circumstances. It was like two different, completely different days. Like, why do you isolate yourself? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't even know what that word means. And I don't know. I was probably like 12 or 13 or something like that. And I was just like, I don't know. I just don't like being around people. I'm like, I don't know. I don't have anything in common with those guys. I don't like what they're talking about. I'm like, I'm into my own shit. Like I don't know, I like science and I like being able to, I like women and stuff like that. And I don't know. Like it wasn't like there's limited topics. I don't know. I felt like there was some things we had in common, but more things we didn't have in common. My mistake as a kid, but yeah, no, my whole entire childhood, I was just like, yeah, stay away. I was like, I was willing to talk to people. I mean, I'll be part of groups and stuff like that, but even at lunchtime, I'll kind of go from group to group and group and group, or from group to group to different group, different group. Like I'll go from like this table over here with like Jeff and what's his name, Ernst and fucking Maddie and everything, and then go to like David's table, and then go over to like Helena's table, and then like I'll just kind of jump around and walk around for the rest of the time if I was bored. Yeah, I was just kind of getting info and be like, oh, what's up, you guys? All right, cool. I got all the information I need, and then go here to this group, get all the information I need. I'm like, all right, cool. And then you guys talk about whatever bullshit. And that's when I'm gone. And then I'm like, all right, move to the next table, get the information I absolutely need. And then once you guys talk about whatever stuff I don't care, then I'll move on to the next thing. So I was just kind of jumping around, like gleaning information and like, all right, what kind of information can I extrapolate from these different groups? And then just jumping around, like, I don't know, just being friendly as I could while doing so. Yeah, very good at making first impressions. Like say, like anytime like there's a first impression that I need to make, I usually nail it. But it's when it comes to sustaining relationships and I start to realize that I'm like, all right, this person's going to be a reoccurring person in my life. And I'm like, that starts to bug me. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to, damn. And I'm like, I can put on a show for a little while, like pretend like I care and stuff for a little bit, but it's very energy and intensive for me. And I'm like, just putting on this facade of like giving a shit when people are talking. So it's like, I mean, like if it's something I'm genuinely interested in, yes, I'm paying attention to you. Like I notice there's a significant difference in my personality when I'm like really paying attention and I'm genuinely interested, or I'm like I'm not interested. I'm like there's a show. Like even though I'm putting a lot of effort in, there is a significant difference between the two. Like if you really pay attention to me, that is noticeable. But I try to show people respect, and I try to treat people as human beings. And I understand that you guys are fellow human beings. You guys are doing your best with what you know, and yeah, sometimes that might be more self-oriented rather than others and society-oriented. But at the same time, like you're doing whatever you can. Like you're driven by your genetics, and you're driven by your mind and how it operates, and you're also a product of your environment. So you're just a variable that's exists that's also a product of other variables. So I'm like, I don't blame you personally. It's just I just realize that you're exist and now we have to coexist somehow. So we're making that happen and doing it where we maximize productivity and minimize the negative results, or minimize the amount that it comes at the expense of others. So we're going about it the right way. This quality that I have, it's beneficial somehow. That way I can like sniff out the bullshit. I'm really good at sniffing out bullshit and people lying. I don't just buy people just because they say something. And I'm like, like I don't trust you. I don't believe you. I almost play devil's advocate, and like, I'm not a sheep, man. I'm definitely not a sheep. I'm like, I'm the type of like if I was like, if we were sheep, I'll be looking at all the sheep going that way. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys going that way? Like, I'll be like wondering, I'm like, why are you guys going that way? And I'm like, hold on. Let's assess the situation. I'm like, before I do anything personally, I'm like wondering, like, why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? I'm not just gonna be like, they're doing that, let's do that. I'm like, no. Weigh out the pros and cons, the benefits and costs, all that, risks, rewards. I'm an analyst, man. I analyze shit. I don't just follow the pack just because people say to. Even in a classroom, blah 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 blah. Where was I? In high school, peers can be more influential than family members. Some peers can say very hurtful things and make you think poorly of yourself. And then some peers believe in you and make you feel supported by your ideas. I feel like I've said a lot of hurtful shit to people just because I didn't have a filter when I was younger. I just kind of said what was on my mind. I mean, I developed a filter over time just because I was like, I realized that you say hurtful things, that kind of comes back to bite you in the ass. So like, let's just like be friendly to everybody, be nice, and not give anybody a reason to piss me off later. So yeah, much more accepting of people and much more tolerant of things they say and do. I try to address it more accordingly instead of just being blunt and just super candid, super honest, and because I know people have feelings and it hurts them and stuff. So we're mindful of that now. Significant improvements been made. I can say that. Significant improvements been made. Discovering self-concept. Who are you? To determine your self-concept, address the following questions and ask others to answer these questions about you. Where did you grow up? What did you enjoy doing as a child? Then California, then Arizona, then Florida, then back to Arizona. What did I enjoy doing as a child? Playing Legos and breaking things down and building them back up. Still love doing that. What qualities did others recognize in you as you grew up? I'm talking about the whole tearing stuff down and building it back up thing. I'm not like Legos. I still have it on. I have a little Lego bamboo thing, and I have little Lego tower of action, like the little action figure dudes, like just kind of sitting around somewhere. I don't play with them anymore, but they're cool. Can sell them. Like when I have kids, then they'll have something to play with. And dude, Legos are like timeless, man. Like I could have kids, their kids, grandkids, everybody playing with Legos. It just helps you use your imagination and build, and you create like little worlds and even little societies with your Legos, and have them create narratives and everything like that, where like and conflict resolution and stuff like that, and forming allies and enemies and stuff like that, and like how the politics of it all, like it was fun as a kid, man. It was like I really had a very active imagination. Did others recognize in you as you grew up? For example, I know I can rely on you. No, I didn't really. I was never interested in being there for other people when I was younger. Like it kind of arose in me like later on. Like, the wanting to be of service to others, just I feel like kind of came about as an emergent property of all these other things that I'm doing. So when you're with a group of people, what is your role in the group? Say navigator. So like, don't need to be the captain managing everything, but I like to be able to set the course. Be like, this is where we're going. And then whatever you want to do after that, cool, I don't care. But this is the direction we're going. For example, listening, coordinating, meeting times and location, and then initiating getting together. Let's say like the people and the place, maybe the time, coordinate, and then the rest, like whatever happens after that, that's up to other people, whoever else is involved. Why do you think you communicate the way you do? Is it based, because I don't know, a lot of people piss me off over the years. Is it based on some answers to these self-reflexive questions? Maybe, probably. Sometimes people behave and interact with others because of their experiences, background, and observations of others. Yep. Genetic environmental correlation. We are agents of change for others. Others are agents of change for us, and we are products of our environment. That's a given. On a job interview, if someone asks you to tell them about yourself, how would you describe yourself? The words that you use are related to your self-concept. Self-concept refers to the perceptions that you view about yourself. These perceptions are relatively stable. These might include your preferences, talents, emotional states, pet peeves, and beliefs. Self-esteem is a part of self-concept. Self-esteem includes judgments of self-worth. A person can experience varying levels of self-esteem, ranging from high to low evaluations. Individuals with high self-esteem felt positive about themselves and others. They mainly focus on their successes and believe that others' comments are helpful. Good for you. People with low self-esteem view things negatively and may focus on their failures. They are more likely to take other people's comments as criticism or hostility. A recent study found that individuals with low self-esteem prefer indirect communication methods such as email or text or face-to-face interactions compared to those with high self-esteem. Interesting. Building and maintaining relationships. Research shows that your self-concept doesn't happen when you are born. Rather, it happens over time. When you are very young, you are still learning about your body. Some children's songs talk about head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Knees and toes. As you develop into an adult, you learn more about yourself with others. It is through this communication with others that we not only learn about ourselves, but we can also build and maintain relationships. To initiate a relationship with someone else, we might ask them very general questions such as their favorite color or movie. Once we have established a connection, we might invite them to coffee or lunch. As we spend time with others, we learn more about them through conversation, and in the process, we discover our likes and dislikes about someone. It is through this sharing of information with others that we learn more about them. We can build intimacy and a deeper connection with others when they share more about their experiences and perspectives. Think about all the relationships that you have developed over time. Now, think about how these people either shaped your self-concept or perceptions regarding your self-esteem. For instance, you may have had a coach or a teacher who impacted how you learn about a certain topic. You may have had an inspirational teacher who helped you find your career path, or you might have had a coach who constantly embarrassed you in front of your teammates by yelling at you. Fucking Coach Kenny. Oh, bitch. These two very different experiences. That's a different coach than the one that was asking me while I was isolating myself. Fucking Coach Kenny was like, try to be like a hard ass, but yeah, no. He's just kind of a dick. These two very different experiences can significantly impact how you perceive yourself. Coach Baker was cool too. He was cool. We receive messages from people throughout our lives. On social media, there will be people who like our posts, but there might be some who disagree or do not like what we post. Yeah. Who cares? These experiences can help us understand what we value and what things we may choose to ignore. From an early stage, we might compare ourselves to others. This is called social comparison. For instance, in grade school, your teacher might have asked everyone to line up against the wall to see who is tallest and who is the shortest. Instinctively, we already compare ourselves to others. When there is an exam, students want to know how other people performed on the exam to see if they are different or similar. By comparing ourselves to others, we can discern whether we are better or worse than others, which in turn can influence our self-esteem. One of the female authors one of the female authors one of the female authors used to compare herself in weight and height. Typo, whatever. One of the female authors compares herself in weight and height to her two female cousins when she was a child. Oh, I see what you're trying to say. One of the female authors used to compare herself in height and weight to other female cousins. Okay, yes, still a typo. This one's not McGraw-Hill. This one's the Milne. Yeah, Milne Publishing. God damn, you guys suck at proofreading your shit. Like, this is college. This is college level shit. Like, you guys can't get your shit right. Like, you guys can't have a textbook with, like, I'm not, like, there's, like, a couple typos, like, whatever, but, like, dude, like, it's every page, like, every chapter is, like, at least 10 of them. Like, it's sad. It's pathetic. Very low quality work. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. She compared herself to her cousins. She remembered taking great pride in weighing more than her cousins when she was in the 5th grade. From the perspective of an innocent child, weighing more was better. Life shapes our ideals and values. Now she would love to weigh less than others her size and age. We will build and maintain relationships with others who share similar self-concepts to us, or who we perceive as having a similar self-concept about ourselves. Your closest friends are typically people who share some similarities with you. These relationships most likely occurred because you disclosed information about yourself to see if you were similar or compatible with the other person. Uncertainty reduction theory. As humans habitually form relationships, theorists Charles Berger and Richard Calabrese sought to understand how humans begin relationships. Their research focused on the initiation of relationships, and it was observed that humans in first meetings attempt to reduce uncertainty. Thus, the uncertainty reduction theory emerged. This theory addressed cognitive uncertainty, or uncertainty associated with the beliefs and attitudes of another, and behavioral uncertainty, or uncertainty regarding how another person might behave. 3 strategies are used to reduce uncertainty, including passive, active, and interactive strategies. Passive strategies avoid disrupting the other individual and can be accomplished through observation. Active strategies involve asking a friend for information or observing social networking sites such as Facebook, X, and Instagram. Finally, interactive strategies involve direct contact with the other individual. Charles Berger and Richard Calabrese in 1975 believe that when we meet new people, we are fraught with uncertainty about the new relationship and will seek to reduce this uncertainty and its resulting anxiety. They found that the best and most common way of reducing this uncertainty is through self-disclosure. As such, this self-disclosure needs to be reciprocal and to reduce uncertainty successfully. Upon new introductions, we consider 3 things. 1, the person's ability to reward or punish us. 2, the degree to which they meet or violate our social expectations. And 3, whether we expect to re-encounter them. Most of these considerations are made instantly and often through expectancy biases. Research revealed that we make snap decisions about people upon meeting them based on previously held beliefs and experiences, and that these decisions are extremely difficult to overcome or change. Wonder what Brittany Buttel's up to. Remember, she was hot for that P.F. Chang's. I don't know, she comes to mind every once in a while. Other women come to mind too. It's not just like Nina, Malia, that on the list. I was like, oh, she's up to. I don't know, random thoughts just randomly popped in my head. ADHD, let's go, let's focus. When we meet other people, there's a ton of information for us to go through very quickly. So just as in other situations, we draw on our previous understandings and experiences to make assumptions about this new person. The process of self-disclosure enables us to gather more information, leading to a more accurate understanding of other individuals, which provides us with better insight into their future actions and reduces our uncertainty about them. Oh yeah. Woohoo. These ideas are particularly clear in the digital age, as evident in Chang et al.'s 2015 research on online consumer reviews and their impact on potential purchasers. They found that similarities in a viewer's diction to the shopper's language and the confirmation of the shopper's prior beliefs created more credibility. We are more comfortable with things and people that are like us and that we understand and can predict. How does this translate to more personal forms of computer-mediated communication, or CMC, such as email? In another study, researchers sought to determine the factors that influence our understanding of such messages. They found that the individual personality of the receiver was the biggest factor in the way the messages were interpreted. Again, we see that humans interpret data more effectively when they are familiar with it. We will consistently make assumptions based on what we would do or have experienced previously. The lack of nonverbal cues in CMC exacerbates this. CMC, which is computer-mediated communication, we have very little more than text to use in the formation of our opinions and seek to eliminate the uncertainty. We need to return to the solution that Berger and Calabrese found for reducing uncertainty: self-disclosure. Many new relationships today, particularly in the dating world, begin online. To be successful in these initial encounters, the key appears to be engaging in as much self-disclosure as possible upfront to help others reduce anxiety based on uncertainty. Future research in this area would support the notion that an increase in self-disclosure leads to an increase in positive reactions from similar users in a social network. The underlying issue with all this is that there is little to no way to verify the information disclosed by users. So, a new uncertainty reduction theory seemed necessary. How can we alter our previous notions of human behavior to reflect a culture in which deception is presumably so much easier? It is the answer to live in a world of uncertainty and its resulting anxiety. To what degree must we assume the best of others and engage in potentially risky relationships to maintain a functional society? Who can we trust and how can we know? Who can we trust? 25% of young adults were seeking love online when two researchers conducted their research, causing them to wonder about how often individuals were lying online. At the time, it was known that males tended to lie about their height and online dating profiles, and females tended to lie about their weight. Researchers David Markowitz and Jeff Hancock in 2018 wondered, how often do people who use dating apps lie? What sort of things are they prone to lie about? They reviewed the messages of 200 participants from an online dating platform during what they defined as the discovery phase. This phase is defined as after swiping right and before meeting. We can consider it to be an uncertainty reduction phase. Lies were discovered in 7%. Holy shit, only 7%? Damn. Lies were discovered in 7% of the messages and could be categorized into two types. Self-presentation lies, let's say 7% were probably detected. Self-presentation lies, these lies involve making individuals appear more attractive, such as going to church, going to the gym more often, or having similar interests to the person they were chatting with. Availability maintenance lies in this category involve deception about when individuals were available and making excuses for radio silence, such as my phone died. In the discover phase, when reducing uncertainty, most individuals are not fabricating significant information. The researcher rationalized that to do so would create significant problems going forward. Key takeaways: Maslow's hierarchy of needs illustrates that people utilize communication to fulfill both basic needs. Yeah, so one thing to note is during this discovery phase, people are also lying to also kind of see, I don't know if it's intentional, but it's also, I feel like, lying in order to see how much they can get away with later. So if they're lying to you now about the little things, they're going to lie to you later about the big things. And so like they're basically gauging you as like, does this person believe me when I lie? And they're basically trying to get a feel for like how much they can get away with. And so like, am I going to be able to get away with a lot of stuff with this person? And they equate that to like freedom and stuff like that. So it's like, it's kind of manipulative and kind of gross, but I'm aware of it. Which is one of the reasons why People absolutely disgust me, but at the same time, there's a lot of beauty in you guys too. You're not all bad, not all good, not all bad. You guys are human, and there's pros and cons. More good than bad, I think, overall, which is why I'm like, I'm all right. I'm like, all right, fine, willing to deal with it. So, all right. Key takeaways. Maslow's hierarchy of needs illustrates that people utilize communication to fulfill both basic needs, for example, safety and belonging, and higher order needs such as esteem and self-actualization. Understanding a person's needs can help explain how and why they communicate. Communication helps us meet practical, emotional, and social needs. It supports well-being, helps us express our goals, and allows us to collaborate with others to solve problems and pursue dreams. Our self-concept. Yeah, go back. That looks cooler. I don't care about your ads, man. I never pay attention to that shit. I don't remember a single thing being advertised. Well, I mean, I know political ads, but I don't know any of their names. I was never paying attention to them. I tune it out. I feel like my brain just subconsciously tuned things out, which is fine because if people want to waste their money marketing on this bullshit, then I guess it serves a lesson to them. Nobody's paying attention to that shit. Like that's our time to either walk away, do the dishes, start sleeping, but yeah, it's like break time. It kind of gives us a break. Maybe it is a good public service because like nobody pays attention to the ads. At least anybody with common sense. Like, who the fuck is watching ads? Like, the only people that should be watching the ads would be the people creating the ads, I guess. Yeah, ads are annoying. I feel like there should be like if you want laws, like create laws again, like to help people have freedom against marketing or freedom against being forced to have ads forced down their throat. Like to have ad blockers, like you can have an ad blocker. You don't ever have to see an ad in your whole entire life. That'd be cool. I don't feel like people should be forced to see ads. But yeah, I mean it's good for break time. Good for bathroom breaks and other stuff. Yeah. I don't know how you guys deal with ads. I don't pay attention to that shit. One single iota, one single bit. All right. Hold on. All right, our self-concept and self-esteem are shaped through feedback from others. Communication with peers, family, and colleagues influences how we see ourselves and can either build or diminish our sense of worth. We build and maintain relationships through self-disclosure and shared experiences. Communication enables us to connect, discover commonalities, and foster deeper emotional bonds with others over time. Uncertainty reduction, I don't know, or build tensions. I don't know. You're only considering the pros here. Uncertainty reduction theory explains how people manage uncertainty when forming relationships. The three strategies used are passive or observing, active or seeking information, and interactive or direct engagement. These help us learn about others and reduce anxiety in new interactions. For exercises, okay, skip. Elements of interpersonal communication. Learning objectives. Damn, I'm like 30% through this whole entire chapter. Elements of interpersonal communication. This is already an hour. All right, we'll pick that up in the next office hours.